You won't do it. You're not a killer, Leah, Mike said. She drowned another shot of whiskey and dragged a chair closer, just out of reach. Straddling it, she rested the rifle across the back. Shadows leapt across the shack, turning mosquitoes into giant bloodsuckers. Smoke curled from her lips as she leveled her gaze at both men in turn. Maybe I wasn't, she said, voice low and steady, but the jungle lessons come fast and sink deep into one's psyche. Neither man said anything. Outside, unseen eyes watched. Screeches and croaks cried out for all to witness. Leah backed up to the only window and tossed out the butt of her last cigarette. I didn't smoke until I got here with him. She swung the rifle toward Alejandro. His grin faltered. Blood still wetted his ribs. Careful, princessa, he rasped. You'll pull that trigger and the jungle won't hear the end of it. Her stance didn't shift. The jungle already knows. It's watched every lie. Mike sat frozen, sweating, sweat tracing down his temple. He didn't move, didn't speak, just stared as Leah's fingers tightened inside the guard. Don't even let that thought fester in your sick head, she snarled. In one clean motion, she swung the muzzle onto Mike. Shadows stretched across his face as she pointed the sight on him. His mouth opened, no words, just a rasp of breath as the rifle's red dot pinned him in place. Alejandro's laugh broke into a cough. Told you, mate. She's done taking orders. Leah didn't blink. Her gaze cut between them, hard and steady. The only thing I decide tonight is who walks out of this shack alive. The scream of a jaguar tore the night, too human to ignore, too savage to mistake. Ah, the jungle does frighten you, Alejandro quipped, voice dripping sarcasm at her wince. Maybe she smells your blood, Leah hissed back, eyes narrowing, and can already taste your rotten meat in her mouth. Leah, this can't go on all night, Mike scolded, his tone sharp. I need some answers. Her eyes flicked between them. The problem is, I can't trust either of you. Truth is, I trust that jaguar bitch out there not eating me before I trust either of you jerks. The curse slipped out, sharp, raw, surprising even her. For a heartbeat, neither man moved, not from the rifle aimed at them, but from the shift in her tone. Why did you let me blithely follow you into Maria's camp, all while you knew the truth? Alejandro's smirk wavered. His eyes narrowed under the weight of her stare. He shifted against the wall, pressing the bloodied gauze harder to his ribs. Because, princessa, truth is a luxury here. You wouldn't have lasted an hour without us. Mike's jaw clenched, his voice cutting through Alejandro's rasp. Don't paint me with your brush. I didn't know he'd pull off that stunt. Leah's grip tightened on the rifle. And yet you stayed silent. That makes you both guilty in my book. Alejandro's voice softened. I wanted to make Centraga pay for the loss of our son. You were an important asset, and one I had access to. His words spilled like pleas. For the first time, Leah saw something flicker behind his eyes. Not menace, not arrogance, but grief curdled into rage. Your son? Her voice was flat, suspicious. Am I the weapon you chose? Alejandro nodded once, as if it cost him nothing, or maybe everything. Is Maria the mother of your son? Leah pressed, eyes narrowing as the pieces aligned. Yes, Alejandro lifted his head, visibly fighting back a tear. You blame that on Centraga? Mike cut in, like a company man defending the brand. Shut up, Leah barked. Her gaze left Alejandro. So Maria's boy, the one hiding in that box when the spraying started, is yours too? Alejandro shook his head firm. No, that one lives. He is hers. His voice roughened as if the words scraped his throat. My son is gone. The chemicals killed him before he ever breathed his first cry. How could that be? Leah's voice was cold as the rifle steel. When did this happen? Alejandro swallowed, then rasped. Centraga sent those men in spacesuits, spraying the jungle. They killed him before he ever had a chance to live. Their poisons stole him from us. Tell me, Gringa, what do you think your reports will fix? Leah's finger tightened inside the guard. Outside, the jaguar screamed again, its crying twisting through the swamp like a verdict. Alejandro's face pinched with pain, blood loss and memory mingling in his eyes. So go ahead, he whispered, almost daring her. End me. But no, you're no different than them if you do. Mike shifted in his chair, sweat running down his temple. Don't listen to him, Leah. He's using you, and that's all this has ever been. Mike, where's that radio you had outside? She asked, struck by how he carried himself, like he was the decision-maker for Centraga. I tossed it into the swamp, he snarled. Why? What difference does it make? Leah's gaze cut between them, steady, unblinking. The jaguar screamed again, closer this time, as if the jungle itself demanded her judgment. Alejandro, she whispered, do you have the strength to shoot him if he moves? Si, princesa. Alejandro smirked at Mike. Hold this on him, Leah said, handing him the rifle. Keep it on him while I search him for the radio. Something tells me he's lying. Alejandro's bloody hand curled around the stock, his grin feral despite the pain. He leveled the barrel at Mike's chest without hesitation. Careful, Mike said, forcing a laugh that cracked. You hand him that gun and you'll regret it. Leah ignored him, stepping close enough to feel the heat of his breath. Her hand swept over his pockets, quick, clinical, searching for the radio he swore was gone. Mike's jaw tightened, muscles twitching under her touch. You think I'd keep it on me? You think I'm that bloody stupid? Stupid? Leah's eyes flashed. No. Arrogant? Absolutely. Her fingers brushed something hard beneath his shirt seam. Not metal, but plastic. The edge of a concealed transmitter. Mike froze. Alejandro's laugh cracked into a cough, but the rifle never wavered. They know where we are, Mike smirked, and they are probably on their way right now. Well, we've been here 2 hours or more, Leah shot back, and your cavalry hasn't arrived. Alejandro shook his head, a laugh rasping through his chest before it broke into coughs. No signal can get through this canopy, he winced, then held the rifle back out to her. Why do you think I chose this place for my cabin? Leah's voice softened, dripping with concern. Alejandro, do you think you can hold the rifle one more time? He stuck out his arm to take it but didn't speak, only wheezed in short breaths. Keep it on him. She shook her head, making sure he was with her. While frisking Mike, her eyes landed on a weapon for his demise, a green-dipped shrimp net neatly hung from a nail in the corner. It swayed behind him like it had been waiting for this moment. She yanked it down, catching Alejandro's eye. Keep that gun pointed and ready to fire, she said. He nodded. Then with a sudden burst of strength, Alejandro rose and slammed the rifle's butt squarely into Mike's forehead. Leah tossed the net over his head. Is there a rope to tie him with? She asked, scanning the shack. Here, Alejandro shoved a spool of coarse netting rope toward her. Mike groaned, the blow knocking him out for a moment. As he started to stir, Leah barked, Quick, help me get him to the floor. She laid the rope in a wide U shape and rolled him into the center. Good thing I'm also an experienced racing sailor and know my knots. Her laugh was dark, sharp, as she cinched the rope tight, the net still tangled around him like a green cocoon. Grabbing both ends of the rope, she dragged Mike out onto the porch. Here, take this in and tie it to that post, she told Alejandro, securing hers to the opposite beam. Mike lay out, bound at the center, the rope splayed like a spider's web. Hey, what the hell? He screamed as he came to, thrashing against the net, unable to move. Leah knelt closer, her breath hot at his ear. I'll give you this. You're a hunk. but even hunks are shit-eaters, and you'll never touch this." She rose, sliding her hands down the length of her slender body, letting the insult hang in the air. Then her boot struck hard. Mike rolled off the porch. The rope snapped taut, suspended inches above the low tide. He swung back and forth like bait on a line. The swamp below rippled. Something stirred in the black water, waiting. "Come on, Alejandro. Let's get you into that panga." "No, Princesa," he shook his head. "I only want you to do one thing for me." "What?" Leah froze, startled by the refusal. "Why won't you come with me? I've lost too much blood. I'm tired of the fight, and I know I can trust you. But, I don't know my way out." Her voice broke, pleading. "I need you to guide me." "You don't need me, only directions." His eyes drifted shut as he spoke. "You said no signals can get through the jungle. Are there maps?" Her confusion mounted. "It's really easy." Alejandro drew a few ragged breaths. "But first, you need to know what you must do." "Okay." Leah sat down beside him. "Maria has the documents to prove Centraga killed our son." "But she doesn't speak English." Leah's voice cracked. A faint smile touched his lips. "She speaks it well enough to be your witness." "Okay, I get the documents and Maria, then what?" "She has contact information for an environmental lawyer in New Orleans. He already knows this case. Promise me you'll call him." "I promise." Tears welled, but she blinked them back. "Alejandro, please, let me take you out of here." "Once you're in the panga, bend low, eyes level with the bow." His eyelids fluttered closed, his hands still warm in hers. "When your eyes are level, look for a cut in the mangroves. Follow it. Keep heading north." "Keep heading north," Leah whispered. "Alejandro," she called his name, but his chest was still. His pulse was gone.